Hi, I'm Jess Cannell, and today I wanted to make a video about the realities of being a mom of a large family. And I am right now 6 months pregnant. I just passed 27 weeks with our 9th baby. And just to clear it up, if you had told me that I was going to be a mom of 9 at any point prior to 2 or 3 years ago, I probably would have laughed at you and thought it sounded absurd and sounded like a million. And so it's not that I don't value children. I just never saw myself as like a mega mom, and we have taken it one baby at a time and really just desired to be good stewards along the way. And so it's never been our goal to just, have as many babies as possible, or I didn't set out to outdo Mrs. Duggar or anything. But here we are, pregnant with our 9th baby, and there's some things that I just didn't know about, and so I'm going to share a few of those things just off the top of my head. I have nothing written. I'm just sitting here, and I'm going to share some things that I've observed. So one is, let's start there, the noise. I did not realize how quiet my life was prior to having, say, 4 or 5 kids. That's when it really started getting louder for me. And I don't just mean the physical noise, although the actual decibel level certainly gets louder. And we have 7 boys right now and 1 girl, and we don't know what our 9th baby, whether it's a boy or girl. And so, boys are, I think that's part of that little poem, that boys are noise, what is it, or noise with dirt on it or something. But boys are noisy. They just are. They often will tromp through a room rather than walking quietly. When they sit at a table, they're making explosion noises and cars crashing into each other, and they just play differently than little girls. And so that's probably part of it for me, is just having so many boys. But honestly, it's just louder than it is when you grow up in a home with, a couple of kids, a reasonable amount of kids, a reasonable amount. And it's wonderful to have so many children, but the noise level does go up. And then on top of that actually is the mental noise, which I didn't know really about. But, now I've got kids. My oldest will turn 16, not very long from now. And I've got kids that I'm helping think through college plans and career choices, and whether or not you want to be married, and what sort of career path is friendly for marriage versus not, and all that. And then hormones with some of my, the oldest all the way down to my middle kind of kids, starting to talk through body changes and stuff like that. And then just all the normal parenting stuff, right? Just regular, consistent discipline and practicing reading and all that. And then just little kids needing direction and structure to their lives and all that. So there's just a lot of mental noise going on in my head all the time. One example of that, I just redid our meal plan. And so I've got it scheduled out into 6-week intervals. And each week I made a little grocery list for it. And so I was just going through my week 2 grocery list and thinking about what we need and trying to make sure we get everything that we need for our 2nd week of the menu. And so there's just always all these things going on in my head. So the physical noise and the mental noise are 2 things that I didn't know. A third thing we were just talking about, because our living room couch is the fabric is ripping on tons of the seams. It was just a few rips here and there. And last night we did a little, we had a meeting, and I just noticed there's more than a dozen rips, significant lengths of rips in our various seams in our sectional. And I realized, man, we're about to have to either get a new sectional or look into getting the upholstery replaced or something. And last year I moved to industrial restaurant strength dining chairs, which was like the best decision I've ever made. I found a restaurant supply store in the major town that we live near, and went down there, and they had used restaurant chairs that were exactly the color and size I was looking for $20 a piece. So if you are in the market for dining room chairs, check restaurant supply places, because they often just want to clear those things out, and they're made for constant use. And that's something that also I didn't anticipate, is what happens to furniture when you have, 8, 9, 10 people using it all day long versus, again, a reasonable size family that goes away to work and to school every day, all day, and they use their furniture for like an hour and a half every day, or 3 hours every day. And we use our furniture from 6:45 or 7 a.m. until 8 p.m., and it gets heavy use all day long. And that's a big difference. So I didn't know how fast we would go through couches. So I'm kind of thinking through that and trying to analyze what's going on there. But those are some of the things that that are different for me as a large family mom. I think the other thing is, in every aspect of life so far, Fisher, I've been able to apply myself to acquiring new knowledge. So, for example, you're a teenager, and you give that back to him, Lukey, right now. Give it back. Yes, Mama. So as a teenager, I was able to, figure out college application stuff. And then as a college student, you're able to figure out internships. And then as a graduate, you figure out the job process. And then maybe as a new mom, you figure out what it's like to breastfeed a baby. And then you go through each stage, and you're just constantly acquiring new knowledge. And now that we have 8 children going on 9, the other thing that's having to happen is I'm having to recommit myself to doing the everyday things again and again and again, which is a different skill set and requires self-control in ways that no other stage of my life has ever required. It's not as exciting. It's not glamorous. And your heart, my heart at least, whispers like, you've already been doing this. You don't have to keep doing this. Except that my 1-year-old does need the same amount of correction and structure and regularity to his life that my 1-year-old needed 15 years ago. So I'm having to reapply myself and recommit myself to the same work that I've been doing. And that is not something that, like I said, it's not glamorous. And it doesn't bring you acclaim. No one is going to sign you up for an award or, give you a salary for doing the same thing that you've been doing that nobody's really noticed or praised you for. And it can be hard because you lose friends along the way. They stop having kids, or maybe they stop homeschooling, or maybe they just had 3 or 4 and they're 10 years older than you, so their fertility ended. So then they're not still in the same season, whereas you're still having to say, no, I can't do that. That's during our nap time. Or, no, I'm sorry, I can't lead that group because my X-year-old, this child is really acting out and needs my full mental attention. And that seemed really glamorous, and like I was zealous to do it 8 years ago or 10 years ago. And now I'm just more tired, and it would be easy to give up. So I'm having to look to the Lord and my husband to stay focused on what actually matters. So this video is 10 minutes at this point, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But those are some of the things that I didn't anticipate about being a large family mom. And the way that things are challenging. It's worth it. I'm so thankful for each of these little people. They're fun. And I think one of the unanticipated things that I'll share with you about having a large family is there is a weightiness to raising teenagers. It feels heavy and hard. And like the things that you do matter, and like they're going to impact their lives so much more obviously than whether or not you give them a peanut butter and jelly for lunch when they're 3. So it can feel very heavy and exhausting and burdensome. And it's very tender and precious to have a 1-year-old that just snuggles right up with you and buries his head in your neck when you are simultaneously feeling the emotional weight of what's going on with your teenager. It's hard to balance both, to have physical needs and noisy things going on with little ones, while you're also analyzing and trying to parent wisely through the teen years. But there is a sweetness to having little ones that keeps everybody softer, I think. It softens my heart. Come here, Lukey. Come here. It softens my heart. And I think it softens my teenagers' hearts in ways that I didn't know about or anticipate. So those are some of the hard things, and then one really good thing about having little ones. So this is my 3-year-old Luke. Say hi. And I'm Jess Cannell, and I hope this encourages you. Bye.